Welcome to the Hauling Through Hisec one-on-one class. I'm going to do this class today with Sasha Panther, who is also a PushX hauler. We'll talk about that later, what PushX is, but it's basically a hauling alliance in Evil 9. We are today going to talk about every T1 and T2 hauler. We're also going to point out some larger ships, so capital haulers. We're not going to touch on jumpfreighters. That is going to be a separate class, and we won't be able to do that in Hisec. We'll have to go to nullsec for that. So we're going to talk about all the hauling types. We're going to give you some tips and tricks on which ships to use for which cargo that you have. If you got cheap cargo or very expensive cargo, what kind of ship do you need for that? We'll touch up on that. We're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to plan your route. It sounds really simple going from point A to B, but you want to be a little bit more prepared. You want to see what you're going to run into along the way. You might want to make some bookmarks in space to warp to so you know you're safe. We're going to tell you some more about that. You can also use scouts, etc. We're also going to touch up on uh, people that do not like your hauling ship and would want to remove it from space. We're gonna talk about like PvP people in Hisec that do that. We'll also give you a live fire demonstration on how they do that and with which ships, etc. So you can easily pick them out if you go into a system and you see, a couple ships on a gate, and it's the type of ships that we're gonna teach you about today. And you look at it and you're like, okay, this is not the good place to be in. Just get out. So we're going to talk about that too. Then we're going to give you some tips and tricks on the bigger haulers because they are, they're bigger, they're slower. There are some really cool tricks to make them align faster so that you can, travel, your travel time gets decreased. We're going to go into that too. And we'll do the same thing with the bigger ships too. We're going to shoot them. um, we're not going to kill the bigger ships. We are going to kill the very small ship. That's just going to die honorably in the
Hopefully.
class, hopefully, if we do it correctly. If not, then it lives. But yeah, we're probably going to blow it up. And then we're also going to talk about hauling extra blingy things, like really, really expensive multi-billion, multi-billion ISK stuff that you can haul across Hisec, but you'll have to be really sensible about it. We'll touch up on some personal experience too from me and Sasha is also gonna, tell you all about how to become a pro space trucker by enlisting in one of Eve's, hauling alliances. There are a couple of them. Um,
Yeah. Mm.
so yeah, that's what we've planned for today. So hauling, what is it? It's you buy stuff in Eve, you get loot in Eve, and then you have like a really big container of items, and you would really much like to ship that off to your station, or you want to sell it in Jita or something. Well, then you buy a hauling ship like the one I'm in at the moment. This is a really nice Badger, a T1, very inexpensive ship. You can just drop some stuff in there. You can just fly across space, move stuff, really cool. There are uh, hauling ships for each race, actually. The four races of New Eden, Amar, Caldari, Galente, and Mimitar. The, uh, the most of them are kind of the same. So, for instance, each racial hauler has a hauler that has a little bit less cargo hold, but it aligns faster and it has like a more bigger, bulkier ship that is a little bit slower, but you can put more in it. So if we take this this Badger, for example, if you're going to look at the Caldari haulers, you can see there's two different ones. So we got the really nice Badger here. It doesn't necessarily have the biggest cargo hold. as you can see here, the capacity is just, only 4,000 almost. That increases with your skill level, of course, but it's not a whole lot. But again, then it gets a bonus for inertia stabilizer, so it can warp off faster. So that's like the smaller class of ships. Like the Amar also has the same one as the Sigil, I think. Sigil's kind of the same, so they all have their own. These have a little bit more, but we'll go into that also. But they all have their small one that is faster, and the bigger one that is a little bit more slow, which is in this case the Tyra, which it has max ship velocity, but that's just max speed at which the ship can fly, so that's not the align time. But if you look at the attributes, it already has a really larger base capacity, and then if you got more skills and you put some good modules in it and some cargo hold expanders, which I'll show you some fittings later as well. Then you can get this up to at least over 30,000, and you can haul ships, you can haul ammo, you can haul ore, minerals, anything that you want, just across space, and that's what we're going to talk about. So, uh, like the Amar and the Kandaris, they just have their own, little versions. Um, from these T1 ships, you also got the T2 versions, which are basically in the same category. You got one ship that is smaller, but it has the ability to fly cloaked. Really cool. But it has a smaller capacity, but you can fly with it cloaked, so that's really good. Uh, and you got the little bit more bulky one, which cannot fly cloaked, but it has a really neat feature. I have one here actually. I can just show you. So this is another Tech 2 ship. It's called a deep space transport, and it has a normal cargo hold, which is not really big, but that's not what this thing, what this thing is all about. This thing has a fleet hangar, which is pretty big, so you can put a whole lot of stuff in there. People can also pick stuff out of that in space, etc. So that's really cool. So that's the T2 versions. We'll dive into that a little bit later too. And then afterwards, you got the capital class ships. So you got the freighter sized ships like this one. It's a Mimitar one. You can't really. Oh yeah, now you can see it. I think I'll just show you this picture. So this is the Mimitar freighter. Again, you got freighters for all racial New Eden factions. They all look different. Uh, the, the really good thing about these is that they have a really massive amount of cargo. I think they can get up to easily like over a million M3 uh, of cargo space, so that's really good. They are terribly slow. We'll also, later in the class, we'll show you how that you can fly them a little bit faster. So that's really cool. And then, of course, you got some other ships that you can use to move stuff with, like the Orca, which is actually also used as, of course, a mining booster ship, but it also has its own separate. It has a separate ore hold. It has a mining hold. You can put ore in there. It also has a fleet hangar, a normal cargo hold, and you can even put fitted ships in it. So that's really cool too in the ship maintenance bay. And talking about ship maintenance bay, there is one ship that is dedicated to that, and that is called the Bowhead, which is also a really big freighter-sized ship, really blocky, really bulky, and that has, really big ship maintenance bay. So that's kind of the ships that we're gonna look at today. Um, so the small ships, and then we're gonna work our way all the way up there. Um, um, you know, what type of ship do you use for which type of item? So when you're just starting off, you'll probably just have your starter ships and some ammo and stuff like that, and those are perfectly fine to put in one of these Badgers or anything. The Badger is also, I think, one of the ships you can get really early on, maybe even from a mission or something as a reward. So it's a really good starter ship. At the beginning of your Eve journey, you also don't really have a whole lot of really expensive stuff, so that's also really good. So you can just put stuff in there, move it along. So if if you lived in New Eden a little longer and you got some more expensive stuff, uh, then you might want to invest in something that's a little bit more tankier. So then you're gonna want one of these deep space transports. So like the Bustard here, just because it has way more hit points, it's gonna be safer for you to travel because those people that want your hauling ship gone from the game, they are in Hisec, and if they spot you for any reason and they think that you are an easy target, they'll just shoot you. So if you got really like a little bit more valuable stuff, please trade into something like this, and then you're fine. Um, and then of course, if you want to move a whole lot of fitted ships, etc., then either the Orca or the Bowhead, they're really good for that. You don't have to have to package everything. Maybe it has rigs in it, a ship with rigs. If you package it, the rigs are destroyed. So most of the times you don't want that. So you can use those ships for that. And then if you got the really, really, really blingy things that will, Sasha also has a really great example. If I move really, really blingy ships, I use one of these blockade runners because they can cloak, and I can cloak up if I time it good, I can cloak up before that people can target my ship. So it's the one of the safest ways to go about moving really expensive things. I mean, it's not going to be like a really bulky expensive thing because it doesn't have a whole lot of cargo space. But if you got like really expensive, I don't know, gas, you can harvest gas in space, or if you have really expensive minerals, or maybe uh, faction loot items that you get from incursions or the side missions, etc. You can put them in this blockade runner, and you'll probably get them safely to high sec and sell them, or go back to your staging area to use them. Either one of the two. So the next part is actually you got your really cool ship. You got the ship type that you need. If you wanna we're just going to stick with this one for now. So uh, I know where I am and I know where I want to go. And that is, of course, point one of uh, what you want to do. So, for instance, if I want to go to Jeddah at the moment, you just press that, and I want to go to Jeddah station. It gives you a really cool route, of course. There's a couple of things you can choose here too. I think this is already the shorter route. You can also do a safer route, but this is the safest one. If we're gonna do a different one,
Amar.
oh, Amar, yeah, Amar. We are going to go to Amar, which
Very good.
very good
Yeah.
example. So it's set the shortest route now. So as you can see, it's giving me these dangerously red systems like all this low sec. And to be really honest, there are a couple of systems here, and as time goes by, then you'll um, get to know which system is really bad and which system is bad. But like systems like Tama, no, no, I don't like Tama. And this system, no, really, really don't like it. As you can see,
Amazon, my beloved.
yeah, it is a really cool like if you live there, then you really want to be there. But I don't want to pass through. I passed through it yesterday actually, and I was fine. But it was only fine because I entered at the correct gate and exited on the correct gate. But as you can see, um, Amazon is a low sec system. connected by two Hisec systems. And people that want to kill your ship, they know that. And they know that if the route is set to shortest, then people will most likely just try it. And they camp these gates. So there will be gate camps most likely. Uh, and it's not the best, maybe if you're in a shuttle, you'll be fine. But if you're in like a deep space transport or you're in a normal hauler, then maybe you're in a little bit of trouble. Um, so we don't want that for now. So if you don't want that, if you don't want to go through all this low sec, you can just pick the safer route. It's going to vastly increase the amount of jumps, of course, as you can see. Um, but then again, you are a tad safer, and I say tad safer because anyone at Eve could shoot you, but this will be the better route. So when you're looking at this, there's also a couple of systems in here that are like yellowish. That they're still high sec, but they're bordering on low sec because low sec is from zero point 0.4 and down. But um, there's a little bit of a finicky thing here. You do have this Concord Space Police in high sec, which if somebody shoots you and they're not supposed to shoot you, then Concord will spawn at your position and they will kill the person that was shooting you, which is great. Um, but the response time per system differs actually. So if you're looking at like this, like Amar is a 1.0 system that is considered the safest. And then if you're of high sec systems, and if you're looking at this system, which is really great example, Uedama is zero point 0.5, and Concord determines its response time by the security level of the system. So, um, for instance, uh, I think it takes about. You'll have to uh, tell me if I'm wrong, Sasha, but I think it takes about 15 seconds in a zero point 0.5 system for Concord to spawn, and it's about 5 for 1.0, right? Something like that.
Eve Uni says 6 for point 0.9 and 1.0. I had to look it up. I didn't remember. And it was 19 seconds for point 0.5.
19 even. So there's like a difference between 6 seconds and 19. So that's pretty big. So um, all of these systems are occasionally also camped by gankers. That's what we call them, gankers. People in high sec that try to kill other people on like gates or mining sites. That's we call them gankers. So sometimes these systems are camped. And how do you see that beforehand? Because you got this list here. So there's a couple of options you have. Either you scout this travel route with a person or either a person or yourself. You can fly with multiple ships at the same time and just scout ahead. Just warp into the system, see if it's safe, then have your hauler ship go in, etc., etc. That's an option, which is actually also of course, the best option. And then there's a really cool other option, which is actually out of game. You can actually, uh, I'll just I'll just link this here. So this website, the Eve Gate Check website, is basically a website where you can input like your travel route, and you can put waypoints in there, just as that you could do in in Eve. Because if, for instance, if I now, I'm going to Amar, but if I also want to go to, I'm just going to input this one for now. If I want to go here too, I can just right click, add waypoint, and it's going to add some stuff. You can just do that. So you can do that on the GateCheck website too, and it will show you if there have been fights on the gates, for instance. So if people have been killed on gates, it will show you, okay, this system is flagged a little bit red, and there's been like 5 kills, and then you can go to another really great website, which is Zkill actually. It's called zkillboard.com. I'm gonna link that in here too. And zkillboard.com usually shows you each lost mail. So if a ship gets destroyed, you get a lost mail. It shows you each lost mail in the game and where it was and who shot it and what kind of ship it was that got killed. And that's also really good knowledge for you to know. So, for instance, if you look at this Uedama system and you're looking through the Z kill and you see, oh, there's like 10 ships killed in the last hour. Um, maybe it's not the best time of day to do this, you know. Maybe I can fly all the way up to uh, Kamio, then I send a scout into Uedama and I see if these gankers are still there, and then you find out, yeah, they're still there, and then my advice is wait, just even if it's like a really rushed job or anything, it's not worth it. Just wait and just wait a couple minutes, maybe wait half an hour, and if it's really bad, you'll have to postpone it to a different date. But that's basically what you can do already to plan where you want to go. Scouts. If you wanna use scouts, you can just use a shuttle. Doesn't have to be really expensive. Doesn't have to be anything special. You can just send that out, and that's all gonna be fine. So the T1 haulers. So we've got the routes sorted out. There's a couple of well, I already showed you like the sluggish one with the big cargo hold and the smaller one which is faster. But there's also a couple of special ships actually. So, for instance, we looked at the Mimitar ships and we see three ships. And so you got this is uh, the Hoarder. And this ship is actually really cool because it has specialized uh, compartments. So this one has a normal cargo hold, but it also has a bonus or a cargo hold for ammo, and it has one for gas. So if you want to haul gas through Eve, then maybe the Hoarder is better for you, because it's gonna give you like more room to put gas in. Or maybe you build ammo, like you like to build ammo, you like to ship it to a trade up, then the Hoarder is, like the ship for you. And then the racial ship class that has the most different amount of ships is actually Galente. So um, the Itron is like the big ship. It just has the max amount of cargo hold. Uh, it's not awfully fast, but doesn't really have to be because you can hold a lot of stuff. Um, and then there's a couple of different ones here too, actually. So you got the Nerus, which is the smaller one, which is faster. And then we're going to go into some specialist class haulers actually. So you got the Kryos or Krios. I don't know how you pronounce it, but one of the two. That thing can hold minerals and ice. So if you're a miner and you like to refine ice or then you can just stuff it all in here, and you'll have more space in these specialized cargo holds than in, say, for instance, a maxed upgraded Itron. So that's really cool. And we also have the epithol, which is really good for planetary commodities. So last week I had a class on planetary industry. Well, if you like to do planetary industry, you can just get this epithol, fly to the planet, pick up all your industry items, and you'll have more room for that on this ship. And then the last one, which is also really cool, is it just holds ore. So it just has a really big ore hold capacity. And if you're mining with some buddies out in, it doesn't really matter where, high sec, null sec, low sec, uh, you can just use this, fly to them, they can deposit the ore, you can pick it up, and they can keep mining, and you can help them out by shipping the stuff back to the station, and then afterwards you can do whatever you want with it, sell it, build stuff. So these are really cool ships. to get to learn to fly. All of them have their own purpose, their own specialty. You got the little bit the normal. I call them the normal haulers, like the Itron, the Tyra, etc. That you can just put a lot of stuff in there. But if you want to put more stuff of a specific item in the hauler, just pick up one of these specialized ships. And talking about specialized ships, there is a new specialized ship actually. We recently gotten the Upwell haulers, which are these ships. They all kind of look like this. They specialize in also in uh, hauling planetary industry stuff. So if you look at um, the Upwell hauler bonus, it has ship infrastructure hold, but this thing can also haul uh, structures in its specialized cargo hold. So for instance, it can hold an Athanor, or it can hold the modules to fit the Athanor, or it could hold fuel blocks to fuel the Athanor. So anything that is upwell or structure related, you can put in the specialized hull for the Squall. And the Squall also has its own variation. So it has um, it's called the Deluge and the Torrent, and they are the T2 version of um, the Squall. So one is, of course, the cloaky ship. So the Deluge can fit a cloaking device, which is really good. And then the Torrent is the one with the fleet hangar. So it gets a pretty substantial amount of room on there. So now if you got the T1 ship, etc., and you're flying out there, and you're just you need to fly somewhere, and you got stuff in your cargo hold, but you also need to go to the dentist appointment, and you're thinking, well, I need to get this stuff over there, and I really can't wait, but I also need to leave the house. So there is an option at Eve that's called Autopilot. So if you got this really nice route plotted out, you can just undock, press the Autopilot, and the ship will fly to there. But it's not gonna be warping to the gate at 0 like you would do normally. It's gonna warp to the gate at like 15 kilometers, and then it's gonna slow boat travel those 15 kilometers to the gate, and then it will, go through the gate, and then it will automatically go from there again. But it's that 15 kilometers that's actually the most dangerous part of your travel now, because that's the time that these ganking pilots get to shoot your ship. And most of the time, if you put your ship on autopilot and you're going towards Jeddah, or if you're going to Amar, if you go to a trade hub, these trade hubs have enemy scouts. So there will be people along the way that will check which freighters come by, which haulers come by, but also which people are flying on autopilot, because they are easy targets. Because if you're flying on autopilot, that those 15 kilometers, or maybe a little bit less or more, that they'll know where you'll be, and they'll shoot you. And uh, how do they do that? Well, I put a little bit, I put a couple fits here um, for that. I'll just quickly show you a couple ships. So a couple of really favorable ships for Gankers are the Trasher, which is a Mimitar, uh, Mimitar ship. Doesn't do a whole awful lot of damage, but they are also really, really cheap actually. If you look at this fitting, it's only like 2 million. It does 150 DPS. It's not a whole lot, but if you got 10 of them, then it's going to be 1500 DPS, and they only have 20 million invested in that. So that's basically what they do. they have they have their own scouts along busy trade hubs. They just find targets, and then they determine which ships would I need to kill this. And then most of these scouts also have things like cargo scanners. So for instance, if we look at this item over here, so this is a cargo hold scanner. You can just uh, target a ship, you can activate this module, and it's going to show you a portion of what is in the ship, and you can click on it multiple times and it will keep showing you portions of the ship, but you can get a general understanding of what they have, of course. So they'll try and see who's flying around. They'll probably also scan you. You can even see this happening actually. If you're flying in Hisec and somebody is targeting you, there'll be a yellow icon. It's basically a yellow box appears around the ship that's targeting you, and that's how you know that they're scanning you actually. And then once they've scanned you and they know what type of ship you have, they'll just say, okay, we need 5 of these trashers, and the guy is flying with 100 mil worth of loot. So we have invested 10 mil. We're gonna shoot him. The loot, what's gonna drop is gonna be maybe 50 mil. So they'll make profit and they'll do it again. And they do that with any type of ship. So even if it's a freighter, they'll take out bigger and bigger ships. So another ship they use is like the bigger version of the Trasher, which is called a Rupture. It is, looks like this. It's got, it's also got cannons, so does a whole lot of damage in one shot actually. This one is a little bit more expensive, of course. This one's like 20, 24.5 mil, 25, but it also does more damage. So they just incrementally either upscale or downscale depending on the ship actually. And then the biggest thing they'll try to shoot you with is something like this, which is a tornado um, battle cruiser. They will also use the other kind of battle cruisers of this type. So there's a couple of them. There's the Caldera one is the Naga. You got the Amar one is the Oracle. You got the Galente one, which is called the Talos. And they all do kind of the same thing. They are very flimsy, actually, because if you look at the hit points, it's really flimsy for a big ship like that, like 18,000 hit points, not really much. But they use battleship-sized guns. So if you're flying in a freighter, they'll just use, I don't know, 5 to 10 of these. Maybe, yeah, just maybe 10 of these, and your
Yeah,
freighter,
10.
yeah,
Yeah, about 10.
yeah,
About 10.
about
10,
10.
10, 10 to 12.
Yeah, 10 to 12.
10 to 12. Yeah.
And they'll just use 10 of these. They've invested uh, 2 billion ISK at that point. But if you are flying in a freighter and you have 5 billion ISK worth in your freighter, which is not really the best idea, but we'll touch upon that later. But if you got 5 billion in your freighter, maybe 3 billion drops and they have a billion ISK worth of loot and they have profit again. It's just how they work. If they see you flying around with a ship that's not really protected, they'll just shoot you. So how to protect your ship then? Because we will be using some of these to shoot, really, just to kill another ship. But yeah, how to fit up your hauling ship. I got a couple of
One thing, because the Thrasher's one they use, but actually the most important one they use is the Catalyst.
the catalyst too.
The
Uh,
Catalyst is the most used one right
yeah,
now.
that is really true. I am going to show you that ship. I don't have it in my hangar at the moment. This is the catalyst. It's a Galente destroyer, and it uses blasters. And if you fit this really, really decent, you have several hundreds of DPS that they can use, depending on if they use Tech 1 guns or Tech 2 guns. But these things pack a real punch. Um, most of these maybe also go in combination with a ship that will actually warp disrupt you in Hisec. You know, that ship will, you know, the Concorde will fly in and will shoot the ship that's warp disrupting you, but most of the times they'll be, you know, too late. So if they see you on autopilot, there's going to be one ship that will tackle you, because that's what it's called. It will tackle you. The rest of the fleet would have already been in warp to the ship that is tackling, because it will tackle you at really short range. The Catalyst is an extremely short range ship, like 1.5 kilometers or something. But you know, that guy that's tackling you, that's right on you. So there's going to be a fleet landing of 10 of these. They're also like 1.5 million each, and they'll just, you know, they'll just shoot you and kill you, and you know, they'll grab your loot. So yeah, the catalyst is really used a lot. Trashers used also a lot, but after that, the other destroyers are not used as much. But again, if you are scouting ahead and you see 5 destroyers on a gate, it doesn't matter which destroyer, you know, you have to be careful, take care, you know, because it could be a kill squad. So going from there, I got couple of basic fittings that might not be the best. I know Sasha has fittings that are even better than mine. I've seen that. So we're just gonna show you like a really basic Tyra. This is not with active uh, uh, resist modules like a module that you can turn on. Then it becomes even better. And this is also like a really entry level, because it's I'll just simulate it. I'll just show you what happens a little bit. So we got this Tyro here at the moment. It's just something that you can use fairly early on, I think. Uh, you know, the medium shield extenders too, maybe not. Maybe you'll have to use T1s, but um, so as you can see, this option has you know, 26,000 M3 worth in your, you know, stuff to put in your cargo hold. You can increase that by going from T1 cargo hold extenders to T2. So we're going to do that at the moment. There you can see the difference. And there we go. And then we have 10,000 M3 more. So that's a really good thing to train into, Tech 2 cargo hold expanders. You also have cargo hold optimization rigs, also really good. I would suggest just putting Tech 1 rigs on a Tech 1 ship, but that's just my personal preference point. And you know, if you're gonna fly a T2 ship, then of course you know, then it makes sense to put T2 rigs on it as well. But that's just my humble opinion. And then we got a really, you know, a kind of large buffer. We can, of course, if we drop this one out, for instance, and we're just gonna put in a where is it? It is there. It is. You know, then if you put in activated shield resist, you already get a little bit of more bonus. You see, like the previous number was 12,000. Now we're almost at 15, and the benefit of having activated hardeners is also that you can overheat them. I'll show you that when we yeah, I'll just show you that on a ship today when we go into space. And then, you know, now it doesn't really increase all that much, but I think if I just put a couple of them on there, then
Yeah,
I'll
probably like
most
two.
likely
Yeah.
get a whole lot of more. So if you, it increases, of course, more dramatically if you have ships that have naturally more hit points. So if I let me check, and yeah, I'll just give you example on a T2 ship later on. At um, most ships can basically be fit like, you know, the same thing ish. There are some specialty items here on the top actually. One is a because I'm a nullsec pilot, so I live in nullsec. So I naturally fit an interdiction nullifier on most of my hauling ships. This actually there is a thing in nullsec that you can use which is called an interdiction warp sphere, which is basically a really big bubble, as you want to call it, in space, which prohibits you from warping off. And if you're warping to a gate and there is a bubble in the general direction between you and the gate, you will fly into it and your ship will stop. And if you use these interdiction nullifiers, you can fly right through them. Also, if for any reason you get uh, caught by one of these bubbles, if there's a bubble on the other side of the gate, if you go through the gate and you land there, there's a bubble there, you can just click the interdiction nullifier and you can just warp out freely. So that's why I always you won't see these in high sec or no or low sec, but you will see them in null sec. So that because I'm a null sec pilot, I like to put these on my ships. And then another thing, if I can put it on, then I will put it on, and that is a cloaking device. And sometimes if you're either warping through high sec and or low sec for instance, and you're not really sure if people are following you or that you have to get the feeling that the space that you're in is not really safe, just warp 100 kilometers off of a planet or a station or whatever, and just press the cloaking device, and your ship will cloak up. I'll show you that too, how that works with one of the blockade runners, which are the cloaky haulers, how that works. But you can just cloak up your ship and then you're relatively way more safe than just staying in a safe spot somewhere in space or whatever. Uh, I usually also use this in when I go from high sec to low sec, and if I don't really trust everything, then I just cloak up, wait a little bit, and then I continue on my way again. So that's basically a little bit of a basic fitting. The most important parts of this fitting are, of course, the cargo hold expanders and the cargo hold rigs, and how you want to fit your ship with with either active resist or passive resist. You can just mix match that a little bit. Um, this is an example of I actually got an example of um, the Badger actually that I was in, which is fit really differently. It's not really fit for hit points. It has some hit points, but it's fit to be fast. Because at the moment that I um, fitted this ship, I had to go to Cheetah really fast, and I had to come back really fast. So I put some modules in the low slots that made it aligned faster. So now the ship aligns in roughly 4 seconds, which is really good. And I put rigs in it that will allow it to warp faster. So I'm just gonna simulate the fitting. I'm gonna declick these rigs as if they were not existent, and then the ship warps at a speed of 4.5 AU a second, and if you have the rigs on, it's 7. So that means that you can be at places faster than normally. So you can just mix match it a little bit as as you want. I got an itch on here too, which is fit kind of roughly the same as the Tyra, you know, uh, expanded cargo hold. And I put a this one has an afterburner on it because maybe if you if you're in a if you're gonna pick up loot in a site or anything, and you don't have a mobile tractor unit or something on grid, and you need to move between wrecks, then you could just put an afterburner on it. That works. But you don't really have to if you're just warping from gate to gate. And then if you're looking at one of these specialist class ships, so like for instance the Miasmos, you're not really using this for its natural cargo hold actually, because it's not really there's not really a whole lot of cargo hold, as you can see. There's only 550 M3, so I don't fit any cargo hold extenders on it because if I look at this miasmos at the moment and I look at the attributes, it has a 63,000 M3 mineral hold at the moment. So that's what I'm using it for. And there is sadly no item in game that will increase the specialist holds. So the ore hold, the ice hold, the ammo hold, all of them. You won't be able to increase their capacity with modules, sadly. Only with skills. Skills take time, which is, unfortunate, but I always like to say that Eve is a marathon and not a sprint, but some people disagree with me. But yeah, so I don't really fit these things for normal cargo hold capacity. I just fit them in a way that suits me. This one warps a little bit faster. It moves a little bit faster, so I think it yeah just 500 meters a second, pretty decent. Um, Warps off in okay, 7 seconds. Could be better, but it's just whatever you want to fit on it. Actually, you don't really need to fit these things for um, the normal hold. You can just fit them for speed actually. So yeah, so that's the a couple of fitting things. I think I've talked enough about normal T1 fittings, and we're gonna uh, try and shoot one actually. I got one already prepared outside. So I don't know, Sasha, would you like to shoot one too?
I would. I'm currently in my treasure that you gave
You
me.
are, yep. But
Mm,
so, yep, we
Should
are
you give me a
gonna
fleet
do a
invite?
yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of an overkill on ganking ships perhaps, but it's just to show you how fast it could go, you know. So I'm gonna go in my tornado. I'm gonna undock.
If
Um,
you give me a fleet invite,
yes, I
you
will.
gave me one and I never accepted it.
That's all fine. That's all fine. I'm gonna give Sasha an invite to the fleet. Um, as you can see, actually, my other um, my other tornado buddy is already waiting here for me. So that's basically how it goes. There's already a couple people in system. They're waiting for something, and that's gonna be it. We have this really lovely pilot here. I'm gonna link it in fleet here for Sasha. Um, for the purpose of this test, I'm gonna send what's called um, a dual invite, because if I were to shoot this pilot, which is of course my own, I would get you know shot down by the Concord police, and that would be really fun. But that would also mean that I would be transported back to nullsec, and I would not be able to continue this class. So I am going to in dual in. Um, oh wait, I need
Oh,
to.
that's mine. Sorry, that's
Oh
mine.
yeah, okay. So I'm gonna accept Sasha's duel. I am going to do the same thing with, well, let's see, with this one. I'm gonna invite a duel. That's okay. And then the last one needs to do it too. I'm already gonna have the other character. I'm gonna send it towards a gate so it looks like it's
Warp drive
the same thing.
active.
Uh, let's see, and then the last one needs to give its dual invite. Yeah. So yeah, this is of course a little bit cheating because we're gonna shoot this ship and we don't have any repercussions, but that's just how it's gonna be for now. But we'll show you how fast it's gonna drop. It's in warp at the moment, and let's just say the hypothetical situation that you set your travel destination to this system, Samanuni, but you did not really select a station. And what happens is then the autopilot will get you to your destination, but you'll stay there. You'll just stay on that gate, and you're still at your dentist appointment, and you're just sitting there, and your ship is sitting in space here. And somebody has spotted this ship, and they're like, this guy's been sitting here for the past 20 minutes and nothing happens. I've scanned him. He's got some impressive stuff in there. So what they do is then they just, they just warp to it. So we're just going to warp to this, uh, really innocent uh, Tyra at the moment. I'm just going to warp to it, straight to it, and we're just going to lock it up. I'm going to shoot it, and you'll probably see that it's going to die horribly quick. But that's also what happens when you fly on autopilot. If you're, not all the time, but probably most of the time. So we're just, now we're here. We're first just gonna lock it up, and Sasha, you can lock it up too. And then when I say go, we'll shoot it. I'll also already see my lovely friend next to me has also warp scrammed the Taiwa, so it's not going anywhere now. So yeah, shoot it, Sasha. So as you can see on the top corner the Trasher is doing damage. It's not doing a whole
Not
lot.
very much.
It's not doing a whole lot, but if there's like 5 Trashers, then this ship would already be almost dead. Now I'm gonna shoot with the Tornado. I'm gonna shoot with one first, and poof! I didn't even have to shoot with the other one actually. So that's basically telling you the level of difference in damage that it outputs. So, and of course now we can also, in theory, shoot the capsule, but we're not going to do that because we're nice people. So I'm going to have the capsule just go back, dock up into the station. And now usually by this time, in this system, the Concord police would already be here, and all of these ships that had engaged the hauler would have already died.
I have a destroyer 3 jumps out if you want to see Concord.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to. You are very welcome to, of course, because this is Eve, and
I'll show you, but you have to throw away 2 million destroyer. I don't give a shit. You guys want to see some Concord? I'm 3 jumps out.
Yeah, sure. Do it. I will grab a different ship, and you can shoot that. So yeah, mostly what happens is all of these ships, my ship, Sasha's ship, they're all dead, and this wreck is still here, and they will just use another ship, like another hauler, and they will pick up the loot. And for now, oh, there's some nice, there were some.
Yeah, it's actually the loot fairy was very kind.
The loot fairy was very kind. So just say for this instance that they used 2 thrashers. They were able to shoot the ship. The thrashers were combined value of 4 million. The loot is also 4. That means they broke even, but they are on a kill mill, and that's what they want. They want content. They just want to have shoot stuff. So in this case, it's a win-win for them. They get a kill. They have enough resources to buy their ships again. That's basically how it goes. So we're gonna scoop all of this loot. We are actually gonna leave this wreck here because I don't really want it. And I'll grab another ship, and I'll just warp the entire fleet.
Warp drive active.
And we'll just dock up. So yeah, that's basically how it goes. So now we've of course did the example of somebody sitting there. If you had, this tornado is about 100 million. Say for instance you didn't really take care, and you put 300 million ISK worth of stuff in your Tech 1 hauler, the one we just blew up. There is nobody who's going to hesitate using that tornado to shoot your ship in one shot. It's just going to happen, because then maybe they get 200 million ISK worth of loot, and they can buy 2 ships and do it twice over again. So really be. We're gonna
Docking permission requested.
go over that, of
Docking
course,
request
too.
accepted.
What is maybe like an acceptable amount of stuff that you can put in your hauler, because that is, of course, the next question.
Docking
But
permission requested. Docking request
let's see.
accepted.
What type of ship were you bringing? A destroyer, right?
Oh yes, I'll go. So there are campers on a gate. I'm trying to find a way around them.
See, see. Which gate is it?
Hold on.
Which gate is it? Because I can just go there and show the people.
I'm guessing it's a low sec gate.
Is it a low
Yes,
sec?
it's a low sec
Oh,
gate.
okay. Yeah, low
Yeah.
sec gate. Yeah, that's. So for we just shot the Tyra
Kanaka.
or Kanaka.
Oh, Kanaka. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I know. Yes.
yeah. I'm not going to
Sure, wondering.
Kanaka, but we'll just continue the talking in the class,
Yeah.
and if you manage to get in Samanuni, we will test out Concord response time. Yeah. So that's basically the the T1 ships, and then you got the the larger versions of those, the Tech 2s, and we just shot the Tyra, and now we have the Bustard, which is actually the T2 version of the Tyra. Mine is fit with passive resists, but so at the moment it's I think the Tyra was about 12,000 M3, kind of like that. This is 10 times more, and yes, we can even get that up to more. We're just gonna unfit a couple things, gonna put in a couple of those.
Probably one of each for the best.
Yeah, we could do that. Oh wait, we can do that too. Probably we can get away with. Oh yeah, one of each is better actually. Just
Well, I mean, you could do one multi-spec and then like the highest one, just make it a multi, and then the highest one, leave the highest one out. But yeah, that's pretty much what.
yeah.
Not sure
So
what the
we
highest one is.
the thermal. So we'll have
No,
to.
you leave the thermal out.
So we do the
Leave the
kinetic.
thermal out.
We do explosive, and now we don't have enough room to fit the EM.
Interesting.
But yeah, just we'll just take that off for now. So it's already going to show you. Yeah, it's already increased by a lot. Well, if you put I think even if you put the multi-spec on, it's going to be even better actually. Let's see, here it is. If we overheat it. Yeah, I mean we'll have to do some fitting stuff, but you can fit it up with up to, I think Sasha's is about 230,000, I think,
I can
EHP.
get one. Yeah, I've got one with 31. With the correct skills, it's 230,000. Yes.
Yeah. So if you I think if you just take these off, then I can, yeah, just do that.
Yeah.
Find that one again. See, now we're already at, and then you can of course put
PDS is there.
um
Probably with PDS there.
yeah, the
That will be extra
power
shield.
diagnostic system.
Yeah,
If you
extra
put
shield.
those in there, yeah, then
There
you're
you
at
go.
228.
There you go.
And then you can also use Tech 2 rigs, of course, because this one has T1. So if you put Tech 2 rigs in it, that's where it's at. See, 246,000 EHP, which is a really big number actually, considering it's just a hauler size. So it's cruiser sized actually. You'll probably outlive those two.
Oh yeah, you will.
Those two
You will.
tornadoes easily.
Easy.
They'll have to bring a whole lot more to try and kill this, and that's also, that if the cargo in your ship is not worth the money of blowing it up, they'll probably only do it when they get bored, but otherwise they won't. So if you put that 300 million ISK into this ship and you just, don't autopilot it, please just bottom rule in hauling, Um, just don't do it. I mean, I can go over reasons why you would or could or should, but if you really want to be sensible about it and you want to be most safe, just don't do it. Just use that 30 minutes to move yourself manually. And then if you're flying manually, you're already a less interesting target because they don't have that 15 kilometers on each gate of time to try and kill you, because you're just slow boating, so you're an easy target. You're not no longer an easy target. You're actively flying. You have a ship that has a lot more hit points. You're not interesting enough. And 300 million ISK in this ship is terribly safe, I would say. Um, um, so what are magic numbers? There are really not really concrete magic numbers. I would personally say, but Sasha can have a say about that too. But I would say if you're actively flying your Tech 1 hauler and you got it fitted up properly so it warps off quickly, 50 to 100 million max, please, because anything more is uh, drawing too much attention. So
Yeah, it's proportional to your tank. With
yeah,
T1 hauler, you can't really get that high. So, yeah, as I said, proportional to your tank. And if you a T1 hauler can easily be killed by tornado, so you want to keep your cargo hold cargo below a cost of a tornado.
yeah.
Um, which
So,
is 200 mil.
um, I think it was. Is it 200?
It's about 200 mil, isn't it? Oh no,
Oh yeah.
seven.
Oh
It's
no,
100.
no. Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not
Sorry.
200. This is remember this might be a more expensive one,
Yeah.
but I mean if you
Oh
look at
wait, that is a more
that
expensive one. We need to use
yeah, check
this
Apple
one.
Bonks because that's an
This one.
actual
This one.
ganking tornado.
Yeah,
So
this
it's
is a
100
hundred
mil. So
hundred
yeah,
mil. So
so yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
as
100 mil.
so as you saw the the tornado is 100 mil. Um, if you go up to 100 mil, you're you're not really in. You need to fit it properly. You need to have a little bit of tank, but then the tornado is no longer an interesting option because the loot that will drop will be at least less, probably. It's going to be half, or even maybe it's nothing, and then they are really bummed out. But yeah, please go 50 to 100 max. If you're flying one of these things, DST, um, like the 300 mil is decent. You can do that. Uh, I would say like comfortably, I would do 500 to a billion. 500 million ISK to a billion ISK, kinda, in one of these ships. You can, if it's like a really, if you've checked the gate checker website, if you're scouting yourself, you can put more in it, of course, but don't overdo it. Like, there is, for me, there's no sense to put 5 billion ISK into this bastard. It can fit 5 billion ISK, of course,
Easy,
because there's a
easy,
that you can
easy.
easily put it in there because it has more than 60,000 M3. You can put so much stuff in there. You can put blueprints in it. You can put, if you're a new player, you can put your whole life in it. Probably your complete new Eden existence. But don't, it's not worth it. If you got 5 billion ISK worth of stuff and you want to move it, and this is the only ship you have, do multiple runs. It's going to take more time, of course, but it'll allow you to get your stuff over safely. Um, which, and then we come into the bigger board territory. We're going to do that uh, too. We're going to show some stuff from that. I don't know, is our wannabe ganking pilot already in Samanuni, perhaps?
6 jumps.
6 jumps, okay.
To go around Kanaka. We could show what a single tornado does against this one,
Yes,
or we
yes.
could try the single tornado against my T1 Badger.
We can do, yeah, we can do both.
Yeah.
I will first do uh or first shoot Sasha's ship. And for that we're just gonna fly to a bookmark in space because we don't really have to be near the gate. Where I'm not gonna blow up Sasha's ship. We're just gonna give so I don't know if Sasha could undock, if they're brave
Yeah.
enough, then
I mean, if I lose it, it's fine. It's not that expensive. Oh, share the fit.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
you can put the fit.
this this Badger is fit for tank, somewhat tank, somewhat speed, somewhat cargo expanded. Because I just grabbed for my cargo hold, and apparently I found a cargo expanded. Personally, if I would actually fly this, I would exchange the cargo expander for a another power diagnostic system, which gives me a little bit extra tank. But this is basically set up so it can survive a single tornado.
Yeah,
Where a normal Badger doesn't survive a single tornado, this one should.
yeah. So as you can see, um, Sasha hasn't really built up her ship for a maximum amount of cargo hold. You know, it doesn't. I think the max cargo hold on a Badger is about somewhere between 15 and 20,000, I think. So this is, but as you can already see, the base EHP is like 60,000, really high. And then if you overload these modules, it's going to be, even more. So for a T1 ship, this is like a really good number. It's also not that really expensive. I still would not put
Hmm.
more than 100 to 150 mil in this though, because
No.
it's still killable. They'll still do it. Um, let's see. I think Sasha has already warped off.
Yeah, I'm warping to the safe.
You're warping
Did
to
you
the
do it?
safe. Okay. Let me know when you have landed, and then I will warp to you.
I has landed. I've landed.
Okay. Then we're just gonna warp to Sasha at range for a little bit,
Warp
because
drive
we can.
active.
See, just as much as I love to haul stuff, I also like to shoot stuff. It's kind of a vicious circle in Eve. There's like people that do industry, that build the ships, and then the people that do industry get killed by the ships that they built themselves, that get bought by the Gankers, and then because, you know, uh, the Gankers kill the ships, and then the industrials build them, and then the other people buy them again. So it's the circle of Eve, actually. So, um, I've spotted this really defenseless Badger, I think, which is not the case, of course. Um, are you ready,
Yep.
Sasha?
Go, go,
Okay,
go,
I'm
go.
gonna give you one shot because see, so this is so
You can do a couple of shots if you
yeah, I
want.
could do a couple shots. Um, so the other Badger that was fitted really differently was also autopiloting. Just shoot one more time. See, so
Yeah.
I've shot twice. I think Sasha is down to 75% of shields. So at this point in time, I've shot twice. The cycle on these guns is a lot, actually. Two cycles of the Tornado's guns, and then Concord would already be here. So at this point in time, I'm dead, and Sasha still lives. So that's a really good example of please fit your hauling ships properly. Uh, put some tank on them, and if you know that you're going to go through a more dangerous territory. So, for instance, we showed you Uedama, this system. We're not going to go there for now because it's 13 jumps, but this system is really an important pipe system between Jeddah and half of New Eden on the other side. So loads and loads of people go through this system, and because it's only 0.5, it's like 19 seconds for Concord to arrive, so people are going to be camping there. And if I were to be camping there and I thought Sasha was an easy prey, then I was wrongfully so. So, really cool. Yeah, we're gonna dock back up. And then we are
Warp
going
drive
to
active.
touch in to some bigger ships. So we're gonna go over the Orca, which had the I think the Orca is kind of jack of all trades, kind of hauler because it can move a small portion of fitted ships. It can move a small portion of ore. It has fleet hanger. It has a normal item hanger. So it's got everything actually. And then we have the really specialist bowhead for fitted ships. You can put loads of fitted ships in there. And then you got freighters, which are the biggest uh, hauling ships in the game.
Docking
So
permission
we're gonna dock
requested.
back up
Docking
again.
request
I'll show you
accepted.
the bigger ships, and we will be, of course, shooting the bigger ships too, because why not? Um, yeah, just to start off, the Orca. I have a really good Orca fitting here. Um, this one's fit um, for max hit points. So if you look at this Orca, um, the Orca unboosted or unoverheated, it already has 500,000 hit points. So that's a really, it's double of that what the Buster could get. And then if we overheat it, we go up a little bit more. But a lot of the hit points on the Orca at the moment are also the structure, as you can see. So there's uh, transverse bulkhead rigs in there, which increase the structure of the ship. There is a bulkhead reinforcement module in it, which also increases the structure. And then we use the damage control unit, which gives really big bonus to hull damage resistance, which hull is structure. So if you use this ship, you're pretty safe. I mean, orcas are, of course, always still a target uh, because people think that they fly slow. This is an orca at the moment, actually, my orca. This one's not really fitted for max tank. It's actually my normal mining boost orca. I just put a little bit more tank on it, so it has less, of course, than what the other one had. Um, but yeah, if we're gonna dive into this, so we had the max hit points uh, there. So now we want to have uh, max cargo. So we're just gonna go and fit cargo hold expanders on it. It is sensible to always keep this one on, because if you turn off this one, you drastically drop down to um, it's like 100,000. Oh no, it's not, but it's a lot. It's like 75,000
75,000.
EHP. So
That's
please, by all means, always keep your damage control on. I'll just uh, rip these things out because I don't really need them for now for the purpose of hauling. I do always keep a cloaking device on every Orca that I own, because even in nullsec, or if I'm mining in Hisec or whatever, or I'm hauling in Hisec, and there's a gang chasing me, and they know that they can just try and tackle me with their warp disruptor somewhere, and they can just send in the tornadoes and kill me. So if I think that's the case, I just warp to some place and I cloak up, and then I'm more safe. We are going to put some um, cargo stuff on it. I'm just gonna go with large T2 cargo hold. Oh, we can't even do that. We'll just,
yeah.
yeah, we'll just do it like that. We got two T2 rigs and one Tech 1, because then, the calibration's full. At the moment, you can see I got almost 80,000 M3 in the cargo hold, which is even bigger than the fleet hangar on the Bustard. So that's available for you. And then if you look, you also have your ship maintenance bay, which is 400,000, which you can easily fit uh, like one or two cruisers in it, and then you want to fit in some small ships, or even a lot of small ships. You know, and I think that's, yeah. Don't have. Do I have? Yeah, yeah. You see, so this is all in here now too. It's just there, you know. You can I didn't have to repackage all the stuff. Just drag and drop it in there. And of course, if it's too much, then no, can't do. But yeah, you can. Um, these ships all can have stuff in them actually, but you won't be. There is like a limit on types. They can have drones in them, they can have ammo in them, or other types of charges. But I think if you put like uh, skins inside of these ships, then it's not gonna work.
Okay, so
Even if there's a module in it, then it's not
no,
gonna work.
modules work nowadays.
Oh,
Modules work
modules
nowadays.
work nowadays?
So what is allowed is drones, ammo, and modules. Any type of can or maybe trade items, so like skins
Yeah.
or items like what's it called, the clothing, or like the fireworks is an ammo. But yeah,
Fireworks is ammo.
basically stuff that is not a module, not ammo, and not drones is not allowed.
Yeah.
But
So yeah.
module, ammo, drones is allowed.
So I've just put a normal skin into this little shuttle. So if you drag and drop that in there, it's gonna say no. There's something in there that cannot be stored inside a ship, inside of this ship maintenance bay. You'll have to remove it first. And then what I mostly do is I just, you know, click it. I open the cargo hold. Oh wait, why is it not?
Because CCP.
Yeah, it's CCP's been doing it's been doing great work today, fixing things. Uh,
Are
this
you
not
filtering thumbs?
this not so much at the moment. But where is it? It is over here. So yeah, now you
Yeah.
can just take this, and I'm just gonna drop it in there. And now I can, you know, now it's gone. Now you can just put it in. So it has the normal cargo hold, ship maintenance bay. Then it has the fleet hangar, which actually, and it sounds silly, can also fit fitted ships, because for some reason it works that way. It doesn't really have a whole lot of room, of course, so you can just, if you run out of space in your ship maintenance bay, you can just put a small ship here, you know. But you can also just fit, you know, the boxes and I don't know, do I have a small box here? Um, apparently, no. Apparently, I only have big ones. But if you have a like a medium freight container, you can just put that in there, and that works really cool because now as you can see, you can open that actually. You can, it's like a new menu item at the moment, and you can just do that as many times as you have space for it actually. Um, you know, you can also just do it over here, and then you kind of get the same thing here. You know, now they're here. So this is really cool. And now you can just put stuff in here, and you can sort all your inventory out in your ship. You can label these things, not when it's in the ship, but you can label it once it's so once I put this thing out, you can just call it modules for Gnosis, you know, and that's gonna be probably stuff that you're you know, gonna be for your Gnosis ship. And then if you drag it in here, it's gonna show you the name, so you can sort out your entire inventory of your ship. Really cool. Of course, you can also do this with your own item inventory in your you know, in your structure.
Easy way of hauling multiple ship fittings without having them all messed up.
Yeah, yeah, but most of the times, also as you can see here in my own item inventory, everything is labeled because I like to keep it, you know. Also, if you have stuff that you're hauling for multiple people, you would very much like to, keep that stuff apart. So make boxes, really cool. So, and
One
then,
thing to note
yeah,
about boxes is that if you get killed, it's all or nothing. So the game looks at your inventory and it sees the box as one item. So it's gonna roll the dice on it if it's about 50-50 chance if it drops or not. If the dice rolls on the box to be dropped, then everything together with the box drops.
yep, yep,
That's the one downside.
yep. Um,
I'm outside the station if you want to try it.
yep, we're gonna try it. Let's see. So, for this trick, we're just gonna grab a smaller ship. We're just gonna grab this one. Do you want to try it on the station or on? Oh, it doesn't really matter. You can do it on the station too. Say, for instance, I am undocking, and there's a ganker waiting outside the station, which is also possible. So, now I'm here. Oh no. And what's gonna happen now? So I think you can lock up and fire actually. So
In a couple of seconds.
yeah, this Algos is here. Algos is not, it's gonna lock me up, gonna shoot me, I guess.
Invulnerable.
Yeah,
Oh
there's a
yeah,
timer,
I'm
invulnerable timer.
yep, I
Now you're vulnerable.
now I'm vulnerable. So it's gonna, oops, and it's yellow boxing me, as you can see, and now he's shooting me, and yeah, he's not really doing a whole lot. But what's gonna happen now is
Yeah, good. There they are.
it's
They're
gonna
here.
take some time. It's gonna take some. They're here. These Concord police commanders come in, and as you can see, they
And
have killed my assailant. And you would do well with warping off, I think, at the moment. Uh,
Conquer doesn't kill any
oh
clones.
yeah, it doesn't kill any clowns, but yeah. So all these little lovely ships over here. These I don't even know if they show up on the. No, they don't. But yeah. So there's like a couple different types of ships. So this is a battleship, of course, and this is frigate size actually, I think,
Yeah.
or cruiser sized, cruiser sized. So these come in, they save you. Um, yeah. And whoa, what's up with all the rookie ships here actually?
Okay, let me tell you about that. So, I don't know if this actually works, but this is part of a strategy that I remembered. So, those Corvettes are mine. I
Oh,
exit the station with the Corvette, eject from the Corvette, go back in the station, and send out another one. And I keep doing this until I build up a whole bunch of Corvettes. If you are declared a criminal, all your ships that are sitting out in space are also declared as criminal and will be attacked and destroyed by Concord.
oh,
So, I don't know if this is a strategy that works, but I live in Uedama. So what I do is I intentionally send out these Corvettes to the gates on the system and the starbase that I'm at, commit a criminal action with an alt that has the Corvettes, have Concord spawn on all those gates so that when I want to make my trip through Uedama, Concord's already spawned.
yeah, yep. That's also what you can do. That is like counter ganking actually, because
I
what
think
what you
that works.
hmm?
I don't know if that works or not, but I've
No,
been
because
doing
I'm
it.
pretty sure Concord spawns specifically for um each ship individually. So the Concord that spawns for your ship wouldn't respond to somebody else's activities.
So even if they were on grid, they wouldn't engage someone that's a criminal?
Well, they would, but only after the response time. I think they wouldn't shorten the response time.
No, but this uh, can help you though, in the sense as that if you what we've just done, literally shooting somebody with the absolute certainty that the hauling ship doesn't die. And now there is a couple of Concorde on grid here at the moment, and of course these are just a few, but it could also be like a really big spawn. These Concorde ships are going to stay here for a little bit of time. So if you have a really big ship and it's actually a dangerous system, you can just intentionally do this, make this Concorde spawn, and then it's really uninteresting for the gankers to try and gank at the same gate because Concorde's already there, you know. And at the moment that they are gonna try and fire at another target, these guys don't have to warp in anymore. They're just there, so they're gonna start shooting. So it is possible, but yeah, you'll be sacrificing ships.
Yeah,
And I
quite a few ships actually.
quite a few, and I don't know 100% if it's in line
I
with
think it. I,
the end user license agreement, but I think if you do it um, with caution, then you I don't know, but you know it's a thing. You can do it, but as you saw, Concord was there pretty quickly, and I was in no danger at all, and the heroes saved the day. And Panzer is declared a criminal at the moment, so he's going to be flashy red for the next 5 minutes,
15.
Criminal
15,
timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and oops, Concord shot him already again. I see.
Yeah, I wanted to see if they would go for me again. They did
Yeah.
indeed. It was a Corvette. I
They
don't
Yeah,
care.
will. They
yeah,
will
yeah.
go for you
So
again.
so he's Concord is gonna actively seek out Panzer because he's a criminal to the Caldari state at this moment, and that they don't like criminals, so they'll just keep shooting a ship. Any other player in the game can also actually legally kill Panzer at this time because he's flashy red. So we're not gonna do that, but so please get yourself safe, Panzer.
Docking
We'll
permission
we'll dock
requested.
back up.
Docking
Thank you very much
request
for being
accepted.
a test subject. Always fun. Live fire drills. Um, yeah, so we got the Orca, uh, really good ship. I use it a lot. Mostly I use it for mining boost, but it's also good for hauling and variety of stuff. If you want to haul a whole bunch of ships, fitted ships, then this is your thing. Um, I'll just show the info panel on it so you can see the ship a little bit more. This is the Bowhead freighter. Um, it's a blocky thing. I actually like the design a lot. Um, you know, loads of space in there. It's designed to haul fitted ships, and it's got the biggest cargo hold for that. I think my skills are not even at level 5, perhaps.
No, you're at 4.
I think at 4. Yeah, I am at
Mm-hmm.
4. If you go to level 5, then you're just above 2 million M3
Yeah, at
worth.
2 million. You're
Yeah,
exactly 2 million.
that means that you can put in 4 battleship hulls because I probably could get away with it now.
You can fit 4 battleships, but nothing is pretty much nothing on the side.
Yeah.
If you have if you have Bowhead 5, you fit 4 battleships plus like a
Oh wait,
cruiser
I have a,
and maybe a couple of frigates.
I have a, I have a, I have a, oh wait, I have a battleship here. I'll have to, I clicked that a little bit too. So I got a battleship over here. So if I drag that in, let's see, gonna drag that into the ship maintenance bay. See, there you go, battleship. That's really, if you want to move multiple of these really big ships, and battleships are, some of them are quite sluggish to move around, so really good. And I can probably fit a whole variety of other stuff in there. If I just drag and drop, I'm gonna put this hauler in here too. Haulers take up, oh wait, see, there's stuff in the hauler. Uh, Let me put the cloaky hauler in there. Yeah, see, haulers are also a little bit bigger, like 100, bigger than a normal cruiser. But if I just select um, loads of things, I can just drag them. I can, aside from the fact that I'm getting messages that can't put them in because there's cargo in there, then I cannot. You see, well, I can just drag and drop my entire, um, my entire ship inventory in it. Almost. It ends somewhere, but it's got tons of stuff in here. So I don't have to pilot all these ships individually towards my new home station. I mean, I've changed homes quite a bit actually, regions too. So at that point, you want to have a ship that can take a whole lot of fitted ships because I don't always want to um, repackage them. Because for instance, let's see if I look at, for instance, this one. Yep, this one has Tech 2 medium rigs, and they're not the most expensive, but they're probably like 30 million ISK a piece, and it would be very unfortunate for me to just repackage this ship and destroy these rigs. So that's why I don't like that. So then the Bowhead is my ship of choice. And then after the Bowhead, you have ships like, for instance, this Fenrir, which is a freighter. As I said, you have different racial freighters. So you also have the Amar one, which is the Providence. Really pretty ship, I think. Um, see, really nice gold shiny ship. They all look different. They all have different stats, of course, in sense of how fast that they can align and how much that they have in their cargo hold. But you know, if you basically if you want to choose like a hauling ship and you want to look at racial traits or anything, I just say go with the one that you think is the most pretty. Go with the one that you fancy the most because you'll be looking at it a lot of the time. So you'll have to like it too, you know. Um, for instance, now we're in the Fenrir. Minotaur ships are always the ones that most of them have the least amount of align time. So this one aligns a little bit faster. The Caldari one, which is the Charon, which looks bit more blocky. This one gets a little bit more cargo hold in the end. So it doesn't really matter a whole lot. What does matter though is we've been I've been showing you ships that have a multitude of fitting options. So all the ships that I've shown you actually had high slots, they had low slots, they had all kinds of things. But these freighters, they used to have nothing actually, and then CCP decided to give them a little bit of improvement, and they tried being able to fit them with rigs at first, but that didn't work out. So now they have low slots, and they only have 3 low slots, and you won't be able to fit all the modules because you have a really low amount of power grid and CPU. So fitting a damage control unit, it's not gonna happen. Damage
Forget
control
it.
unit needs about
Forget it.
30, at least like 30 CPU, something like that, 30 to 40. You won't be able to fit that, so that's unfortunate. You want to fit like I don't know, say something like an armor plate. So, say you're gonna fly that Amar Providence freighter, which is armor based, like a Caldari Minotaur is shield based, Galente and Amar are armor. So you want to fit an armor plate? No, no, not gonna happen. Armor plate needs way more than just like 4 power grid to do that. So what do you have left actually? Well, you've got these reinforced bulkheads that you can fit. You've got inertial stabilizers, and you got cargo hold expanders. So these are like the 3 items that you could fit on your freighter. One of them, of course, uh, gives you more align, like less align speed. So if we're just gonna put inertia stabilizers in it, see, it's gonna drop down to 21% out of
21
the
seconds.
35, 21 seconds, yeah, 21 seconds to instead of the 35.9 that it was. So that's a big improvement already. I mean, if you're going to fly through hostile space and you don't have a buddy with you to help you, we're going to show you that in a little bit too. You don't have a buddy with you to help you, then like 14 or 15 seconds less, really good, because you'll be 15 seconds less a target, you know? Um, if you want to fit it for, if you want to move like a whole lot of space and you have a friend that can help you with aligning a little bit faster, as we'll show you that later. You can just fit it for max cargo. As you can see, you can go over 1 million M3 of cargo space. Really cool. that's 20 packaged battleship hulls. So if you're running um, a hauling job for your alliance and you're gonna be putting in, I don't know, 50 not 50. You're gonna be putting in like 20 Raven hulls plus you even have room for their fittings. You can do that. You can ship an entire fleet of ships with this freighter. So that's cool. And if you're gonna fly through space that's a little bit hostile, perhaps you can put in these reinforced bulkheads, and then you get more hit points. So then you go up to like 430,000 hit points instead of the 290. And yeah, it's like a mixed match that you can do in these reinforced bulkheads when they're online. They do diminish the cargo hold, so it's like 500,000 now. If you turn these on, you can gradually see it drop. So there's a um, decrease in that. If you put the cargo, I think if you put the cargo hold expanders on that, don't think it does any. Does it do any? No, it doesn't do anything with align speed. The reinforced bulkheads also mess up the align speed a little bit. So as you
Cargo
can see,
expanders mess up your tank though.
yeah, the expanded cargo hold messes with the structure that's available on the ship. So if you look at the structure now, it's um, you actually have to really remove them. So it was almost 100,000 hit points, and if you put these on, like 3 of them, you drop down to half of that. So yeah, it does. You get more cargo hold, but you get less um, hit points. Now, if you move that around, then you get more hit points, less cargo hold, and you got more align time, like 5 seconds more. So, and the only thing that doesn't have a diminishing effect, I think, is the inertial stabilizers. They only have a boost to the decrease of the align time. But then again, you're stuck with the base hit points and the base M3 that you can haul. So, but yeah, that's the freighter for you. So those are basically the three capital kind of ships that we're going to touch upon: the Orca, the Bowhead, and this one. You do have um, the T2 version of this one, of course, and that is the Nomad. The Nomad looks a little bit different, and this is a ship that can jump. It's a jump freighter. So what that means is it can teleport to another part of New Eden. But that is a different class altogether, actually. How to
Yeah.
use a jump freighter safely, what you can do with them. That they are in theory the same as this one, the Fenrir, um, aside from the fact that they can jump or teleport, of course. It gets, I think, a third of the cargo capacity as what the Fenrir can hold. But it's for null sec and low sec hauling. This is actually better
Safest.
and safer
Safest.
because if you're gonna, still those 21 seconds are an awfully long time to be on a null sec or a low sec gate, and you don't want that. But yeah, it's gonna be a different class. Um, we are going to do a little bit of shooting on these ships. Then we're just gonna do a little bit of a pro tip in how to make these things warp fast. And if you are, for instance, in Jeddah, if you undock, that's also like if you need to like align 20 seconds outside of a Jeddah station, that is also like a risk for you because those, as you could have saw the Algos on the station. You can also have 10 tornadoes on the cheetah trade hub, and then you're dead too. So we're gonna teach you a thing about how to do that safely too. But first we're just gonna shoot these ships. So I am going to trade a couple of the ships that I have to another character. I'm just gonna fly these things myself. Gonna show you, um, you know, we're just gonna shoot them with the tornadoes, and then you can see kind of. Um, I actually have to shoot it with one tornado. I don't know, Sasha, do you have a character left that can fly a tornado?
I can.
Oh, you have a tornado, right?
I don't have a tornado, but I can dock back up. I was hanging outside, but I can dock back up.
Okay. Let's see. I
Uh,
am going to trade. It's on
yeah,
another
give me 2
screen, but I'm gonna trade one to
now.
Sasha.
As soon as I'm docked up. Ah, I can't find my insta dock. Whatever. There.
We'll start with the Orca actually, because we're gonna show you a really cool trick with the Orca too and how to align fast. Um, are you docked up at the moment, Sasha?
Yes.
Yes. We are going to trade Sasha a tornado. Is this? You should be able to fly that, I think.
Yeah, I can fly that. No problem.
Cool. Yeah, we can actually just do this outside the station. Just we'll just I'll just park the Orca here. I am going to put on the resist modules, of course. Oh wait, let's see. Yep, and then the Panzer's in a crane. Okay. We're not gonna shoot you, Panzer.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Cool. So I am going to dual invite my my own character for safety reasons, and I hope Sasha will do the same thing.
Let's see.
Can accept that one too. So we're just gonna start shooting it actually, and as you can see, you know, I am getting a lot of damage. I'm gonna overheat the resist modules, and I will. Are you also shooting, Sasha?
Yeah.
See, and now we now the drop is gonna be a little bit less, but so yeah, still does a lot of damage against an Orca actually, and I know you know, if you put the if you use the Orca fitting that I showed you with the structure modules, etc., then the shield is of course the least amount of hit points compared to the structure, of course. So it's going to take them some time. But the Orca itself is a really cool target, of course, to shoot at. If it has a lot of valuable stuff in it, then they'll probably just send 10 tornadoes after you. Or if you're mining at a belt or anything, for instance, if you're a stationary target, they'll shoot you too. So they can kill it. It just takes time. And as you can see, at the
Or
moment, we would
timer
have.
pilots.
Sorry?
Like timer pilots, because you can get 10 tornadoes, which is like 2 bill, or you get, what is it, 40 catalysts, which is like 500 mil,
Yeah, you can do that too.
800 mil. Like,
Yeah, yeah. You can also
yeah,
put a whole lot of those small catalysts on this ship, and then you know, then it's gonna be
you
good
just
too.
burned out your.
Yeah, I burned out a module, so I'm gonna stop shooting myself now. So yeah, I see I burned out a module, but that's all fine. So Orca, really safer option, of course. We'll
Docking permission requested. Docking
We'll
request
shoot
accepted.
the freighter too, just for good measure. Let's see. Because we can. Always fun to shoot myself. You see, I'm engaged in combat. But yes, we do want to go out there, but we want to be shot more. I'm glad that Panzer is in Hisec with his crane and not in low-sec, because then his crane could be used to Sino jump in other people. But that's also another class, because the Blockade Runner can use a Covert Ops Sino, which will call in other people. Fun times. But yeah, so we're gonna shoot the, let's see, we need to, yep, now we can shoot it.
That's nice.
Yep, so as you can see, the shield is really not that big of an issue, of course, because I don't really have any resist mods on the Fenrir. I think I actually, yeah, I have a really mixed mash worth of um, items fitted at the moment. So I think the biggest, yeah, so the hull is going to be the biggest structure. But yeah, as you can see, we have 2 tornadoes. We're already halfway through shield. So if we had more tornadoes or catalysts, it would be a multitude of. Then the
I'm really surprised how tanky the Orca is compared to the freighter.
yeah, um,
Because
but
the Orca actually has some shield modules. The
yeah.
freighter does not.
Yeah, the shield resist modules on the Orca is what will save it actually. And as you could see in total, yeah, of course, if you go through the shield of the Orca, then the Orca even has more hull EHP. So I think the fitting that I showed could get up to above 500,000 or something. The freighter just goes up to 450,000, something like that. But yeah. So yeah, that was of course the freighter. I'm
Docking
gonna dock
permission
it up again
requested.
so it
Docking request accepted.
doesn't get armor damage, because I'll have to pay for that. Um, so that's kind of the damage application on bigger ships. They are big, they are safer, they feel safer, but they can
Don't get
still
deceived
die.
though.
Yeah, don't
Don't get deceived.
yeah, don't
If you
get
look at don't
yeah,
get
yeah, go
cocky.
ahead,
Look at
Sasha.
CKill board. Look at CKill board. Look up the freighter kills. There's a freighter dying. Well, actually, there's probably like 5 freighters dying every day.
Yeah,
Don't get cocky.
There's a freighter death in UA Dama like every week.
yeah, it
No,
is.
every day.
Yeah,
Not every week. Every day.
it
At least one.
yeah. So that's yeah, that's that. So you have this freighter, and you don't want to sit on that undock to align out. So um,
It's
what?
goes for any ship, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
Any ship. The
this
freighter is the slowest, but any ship
yeah.
needs to align.
I am going to show this really quick with a small ship first. Please don't shoot my worm. I'm just gonna just dock off.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
I'm actually gonna bring out the other one. The one
Yeah.
over.
So what I've done actually, I've made 2 bookmark spots. You can make a bookmark by pressing the L button on your keyboard. It shows up the locations window. Then you can say add location. You can like put an expiry date on it. If it's like an insignificant thing, just put 3 hours. Otherwise, put never. You know, give it a label, etc. And then it can show up in. If you go to the L window, you have a. Come on. You've got a button here that says open in window, and then it just shows you this locations in Samanuni at the moment, which is really cool. So I've made 2 bookmarks. One is next to this station actually. So there is one bookmark, as you can see here, this little blue thingy, which is here, like a really odd place, like behind where the undock is. And then there is one all the way, should be all the way over there. Yeah, it's all the way over here, like 300 kilometers straight ahead. Really strange. So what this does actually, um, this little bookmark over here is straight in line of the undock trajectory of the station. And that means if you undock and you warp to this bookmark, you warp instantly and you are no longer a target. The other thing is, and that's actually really important, if you are flying in a freighter or you are flying, even if you're flying in one of those cloaky things, I will go over the cloaky things too. If you're flying one of those cloaky things and you land next to a station, it doesn't necessarily need to mean that you are in docking range. So if we're just gonna warp this
Warp
little
drive active.
frigate there for now, because that's gonna be really quick. So if I warp back to this station, so for instance, just click the station, select warp to. It's really funny.
Warp
It says
drive
warp to
active.
within 0, but I think, yeah, we tested this out already. This station doesn't
Yeah, this one
put
might not
you.
do it.
See, I'm not
Yeah,
at 0.
it's again.
I
Not
am
again.
actually 1400 meters from the station. And if I now want to dock in, the ship
Docking permission requested.
first needs to set course to the docking perimeter, because I'm just
Docking
outside of that
request
ring, the
accepted.
docking ring. And that 1400 meters for this frigate is nothing. But if you're in your freighter and you need to have even more time to dock, you're being a target again. So we're gonna take out the yeah, it's called the big boy. So we're gonna take out the big boy again. We're gonna undock, warp to that um, insta insta undock bookmark, and then Sasha is gonna show us a really cool way to get back. So I don't know if Sasha would like to grab the
I already got it.
yeah,
I'm already out there.
cool.
So this is this one. If he does the insta. Okay. We're running out. We need to do it again. We just
Yeah,
run
but
out.
we can do it really
Um.
quick. We're running out of time a little
Yeah.
bit, but we can
We're
do
running
this
out of
really
time as well.
quick.
So say you are you insta undock to
Yeah,
something.
we are going to
Yeah.
warp to the insta undock, and as you can see,
Warp drive
it
active.
warps
It's undocks.
instantly now. It doesn't need to align to
I can't lock.
anything.
I wouldn't be able to lock it up.
No,
I wouldn't.
it's
It would not be. I would not be able to lock that thing up
no.
because at first it has an invulnerability timer, and then it instantly goes to the warp. And if you're
Yeah.
in warp, you can't get locked.
And
Okay.
now,
So
yeah. And now you're really far
now
off. Yeah.
I'm at a place I don't really want to be there. I want to get away from here. If I have a buddy or myself, if I have an alt, I would have that alt over there, right? And he would instantly warp off. I would do something that I'm just going to show you in a second, and it go away. But if you say now warp to a gate, and you take the gate, and you're then on the other side of the gate, my buddy or myself doesn't necessarily have to be right next to my freighter. It could be that it takes the gate and it's like 40 kilometers on the other side of the gate. Some ships have a high range that they can lock things and they can use things, but most of the cheaper ships and the easy skilled ships don't. So there's a trick. If Serena can zoom out a little bit, you can actually see me in space behind your overview. Yeah, there we go. The trick is that the ship that it is going to do something with the freighter is actually on a perch off the gate. So your buddy or your scout sits in a perch off the gate. Serena is now currently somewhat cloaked. Basically, that 1 minute cloak timer, he's still cloaked. So I'm now going to warp to my freighter that's cloaked at 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers. Freighter still cloaked. Takes me probably, if I do it correctly, 10 seconds to warp to the freighter cloaked. So now he's cloaked. Still cloaked. I'm at 10 kilometers. Now Serena aligns to the next site.
Yeah, we are actually going to just
Just warp to the station. Warp back to the station.
We're gonna warp
I
to
lock
the
it up.
Yeah.
And I give it a web. Which should have. insta-warped it, but apparently it didn't.
Should have. Did you do 2 webs?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay, well,
There it goes.
again, it's faster than the normal. If you time it
Yeah.
correctly, then it's insta. But as you can see, Sasha used webs on
Yeah.
a little frigate, and what that does actually is it reduces the maximum speed of the ship, and the align time is based on the maximum speed of the ship at the time that you are warping. And so if, for instance, in the meantime, you know, that maximum amount decreases, but you're already flying at around, I don't know, 30 meters a second. If Sasha uses the 2 webs, then my perfect align speed and warp off speed becomes 30 seconds. So I just get catapulted to where I need to go. And at the moment, that was the bookmark that I made next to the station. And as you can see, I am instantly at 0. There is like this, yeah, you can see it. There's like this ring around it. If you look at this ring right here, this is it. That is the docking ring. Each station has it. So that's how you can tell that you're inside of it. And now we can just dock.
Docking permission
And
requested.
that's really
Docking
cool.
request accepted.
So that we touched upon that too. I'm just quickly going to show you the cloaking on the crane, because we like the cloak. And then we are a little bit out of time, but we can just do a couple of questions, of course.
While he's showing the cloaking and setting up, I'm just going to touch quickly, just to save some time, on blingy items. As we explained, the T1 haulers, you don't want to put much in it. 200 mil if you got the correct fit. That's really much you want to put it in. Then you get the T2 hauler, that's deep space transport. 1, 2 bill.
Drive active.
Yeah, unless you know what you're doing, you probably don't want to put more in that. 3, it's gonna be tight. But what you do with the stuff we're all incursion runners, lots of incursion runners. We get to the more expensive ships where the bling is worth easily 5-6 bill. Where do you put that? How do you move that? You don't want to move it with the bowhead, because well, we all know bowhead can be killed. It dies not daily but weekly. And if your ship's in it, then the ship drops and they get the loot. You don't want to move it with the battleship, because again, the battleship is even easier to kill than a bowhead. So they just kill that. They drop the bling drops. So what you do, instead of going for tank, because they can always bring more ships to kill you, you go for speed and align time, and as small as possible. So if you have one ship that doesn't use up a lot of space, you can use an Astero. It can cloak while warping, same as the Blockade Runner that Serena's currently showing. If you do it correctly, you can cloak before people can lock you up, so it's safe. Then you warp to the next the gate. As soon as the gate's in range of actually taking the gate, you uncloak, you get through, and you do the same thing again. You kind of want to do it. You want to have an align time of 2 seconds or less, no matter what you do with bling running. 2 seconds or less, preferably 1 second or less. The 1 second is very special though. It's only a couple of ships that can do it, and most of them require an implant to be able to do it. Some ships require more implants than others. There is 3 ships that I know of that can easily do it. It's the Astero, but it requires a full align time clone, so it needs 1 through 6 to reduce your align time, and then another slot 7 for another one. That's the only way to do it. You've got the Hecate, which has two ways of fitting it. One cheaper can do the clone, same clone the Astero used, or a little bit more expensive fit where you either use a single implant, slot 7, or a drug called Quave Green. That reduces it to 1 second as well. The last ship is the Jackdaw. It is the tankiest of all 3. So should you run into smart bombers, because that's the only thing that can touch you if you're sub 1 second, it has more tank, but it does require a full clone. If you want any fits, just let me know. I can show them to you. I didn't set it up.
Permission requested.
but those are the safest to move Blockade Run to move Bling. Fair, they're expensive. They require a specific clone. So, and maybe you don't have shush, Mr. Phone. Maybe you don't have that ability. I would personally recommend for a single ship to get an Astero. It has a decent cargo hold. It fits what you want to fit. It's 200 cubic meters that fits for a single ship, and you can fit a cloak on it. It does require a little bit of training. You can't use it as you can't cloak as an alpha. So if you're an alpha, I still recommend it because it's a nice and quick and easy way to do it. And there's a lot of them out there. Like an Astero, if a ganker sees an Astero, unless they know you're an incursion runner, you move your bling with it, they're just gonna think you're a little what's it called? Explorer, and you're gonna be cheap. Other option is an Atron, which I use a lot for scouting. It has a slightly smaller ship's cargo hold, 100 and 130, which is still enough for a single Kronos or Vindy fit, as long as you keep some of the stuff with the ship. Just only the expensive stuff, and that's how you move it. You move it separate from your battleship. If you fly solo, so you don't have a scout, I would recommend flying the battleship with a tank first. So like you just put as much tank on there as possible. Maybe some of the cheaper modules you put in your cargo hold, and cheap I would call anything below 20 mil. Just put that in your cargo hold. Doesn't count as bling. Bling is 100 or more, or even 50 or more. Um, Anything less than that, so guns. I think there's actually mostly guns for Vindy. Mostly the guns for Vindy. So the guns stay on. The rest goes into the Astero. You fly that thing with a lot of tank. You know what the route is like. You can see maybe things around. You check your Z kill board. You check your gate camp. You've flown it once. Then you get to go get the Astero, get your bling, and you fly it again. You preferably do it with a buddy or a scout as a second one, but it can be done alone. I've done it. I did it myself. I didn't know. I there was a time where I only had one account. I promise you, there was. I did it. It was fine. As long as you prepare, it takes some time, but as long as you prepare, it works. Best one is the scout. I can't recommend the scout more often than
Yep.
really need to do.
And as you can, as Sasha has shown with the frigate with the webs, the frigate with the webs is at that point you're a scout, and it will help you get through to where you want to go. So yeah, we've kind of ran out of time a little bit, but so there's uh, a couple different types of ships that you can use. So we've touched upon T1 T1 haulers, Tech 2 haulers, and the capital size haulers. So T1s are really entry level. There's some great specialist ships in there. Think of the Miasmos, the Hoarder, the Epital. Specialist cargo holds on those, so you can get those minerals across the ammo, etc. Then, of course, you got the T2 versions of those. You got the crane that I just saw you when Sasha was talking about blingy hauling. That I would recommend the crane for that too, because it can cloak. At the moment, you can see an Astero frigate. It looks cool. It also does the trick, as what Sasha told. Um, and then you have the deep space transports with the bigger fleet hangar and also the more tank. So like the Bustard for the Caldari that we also shot today. Um, and after that, you got the Orca, the Bowhead freighters. Orca really good for multi-purpose. Bowhead only for fitted ships. Uh, Freighters only for packaged items. You won't be able to put a fitted ship in that. Uh, really great uses for all of them. T1 haulers, please don't put anywhere above 100 million in it. If you put a T2 Bustard, stay safe within 500 mil to a billion. Freighters, I haven't even touched upon that, but 2 billion is absolutely the max in my experience. Don't go over that. I feel sweaty when I'm flying anything above that in my freighter. I know I'm scouting, but I still feel sweaty. It doesn't feel right. If you want to put more than 2 billion ISK in a hauling ship, and it is a small amount of M3, go with the crane, you know, because as you saw, it can cloak. There will be very little to no time to target it. Um, I also touched upon that it's never safe to autopilot. Um, you, I don't want to give you reasons to do it, but the only reason that you could do it is if the ship is empty. If you're autopiloting an empty Badger through Hisec and you're going to Hisec, there is a slight chance they'll kill it, but mostly not. But if you are flying an empty uh, Blockade Runner through Hisec, it's going to be shot. And that's something I haven't told you yet that is really important that I must mention. If you look on the info page of a Blockade Runner, it has a really cool trait. It has the coolest trait of all hauling ships because it says immune to all cargo scanners. That means nobody is able to use one of those cargo scanners that I showed you and look into it. And that's also the downfall because they will assume at all times that you're hauling something very expensive. So if this thing is autopiloting, which you should not, but if it is, they won't be able to look in it. So they assume it's something high value and it dies. So out of all the ships that you shouldn't autopilot, this is one of them. But otherwise, as I showed you, go through the gate, uh, warp directly to the next gate, press that cloak button again, and you're fine. Other than that, plan your route beforehand. Use that Eve Gate Checker website. Use the Zkill to check if there's been ganking around, if there's gate camps, if people are shooting haulers. If you don't really see anything on either of those websites, it's not 100% guarantee that you're gonna be safe, that you're not gonna run into trouble. If it's like um, the Uedama pipe system, you always want to be cautious of that. If you don't see any kills on Zkill in Uedama, still send one of those scout friends to there to see if there's not something fishy going on. Yeah, Gankers, we shown you that. You know what they fly. They fly stuff like the Catalyst. They fly stuff like the Trasher, the Tornado, maybe a Rupture. If you see 20 uh, bomber frigates are Tech 2 specialized frigates that use torpedoes and bombs. If you see 20 bombers on a gate or anything on they will use bombers too. So if you see a really big influx of the same type of ship with maybe the same type of name, be careful. Um, yeah, and that's it. Be sensible about hauling. It is very easy to haul, but it is very difficult to haul properly. I think that sums it all up actually. I
Yeah.
know we've
Easy to haul and easy to die.
yeah, we've taken an awful lot of time of your evening today, like 2 hours. Thank you very much for everyone that stayed with us, because I know that 2 hours is a very long time for a training class. I hope we've been able to give you all of the info that you need to, start hauling. If you have any questions about hauling, please hit up Sasha or me, Serena, in the Eve Rookies Discord. You're always free to DM me. You can always ask your question. Doesn't really matter what time of day it is, because if I can, I will respond. If you wanna be more if you want to become a pro space trucker, we haven't really touched up on that because we don't have enough time,
I think
sadly.
Serena has to go. I mean, I can stay for another half an hour to answer questions if need
Yeah,
be.
yeah. But
Um,
I need to. What I wanted to say was, Sasha is like a pro space trucker, been for a long time. Sasha flies with an alliance called PushX Freight. They have a website online. It's really professionally set up. You can just say, hey, I have 100,000 M3, it is worth this and that amount. Can you move this for me? You know, and then you can input a starting and destination system, and they will do it. You know, it will cost you money, of course, because it's a service they provide. But Sasha,
Time is money.
yeah, time is money. There are a couple of different ones. You have PushX, which delivers everywhere. You have another alliance called Red Fog. They deliver at most places, and you know there's a couple others as well. But those are really cool. Sasha will be able to tell you about that. Um, so yeah, that was it for me for this class. I sadly have to run off now. I have some other stuff that I need to do, but thank you very much. Um, I hope I'll see you next time in another class. I'll stop the recording now